Hi everyone. So for those who do not know me, my name is Rachel, and I'm currently doing my PhD in chemistry here at the University of Connecticut in the USA. So when someone approached me nga mohatag daw ko og inspirational speech during the conference sa CNU, I asked myself kung kaya ba nako. So I actually was having second thoughts because I know myself and I know nga I'm definitely not the type of person who is comfortable with speaking in front of a crowd, let alone giving an inspirational speech. And everyone who knows me knows that about me. So but then, I realized nga that was the motivation anyway. Nga nung naabot ko where I am now, why I pursued grad school. That was the motivation to inspire students, to teach students. So I said yes. Unfortunately, nakatulog ko. I had a migraine, like a migraine last night. It's because of my eyes. So I had a migraine last night. Mao lagi ni magkatiguang ta, magkadaghang sakit. But sumoto ni pahuway ko, wa na ko nakamata. So unfortunately, and I really apologize for missing the event, but I would still like to share some things nga akong na-experience, some things that I'd like to impart to you guys. So when Apple, who was also an alumni sa CNU, and she's my friend, Apple approached me, and I asked myself, yeah, so I said yes. And then, so while I was composing my speech hours before the conference, I asked myself, how can I inspire these students? So man ako istorya para ma-inspire mo. So I had to take myself back to the time when I was still your age. Kanang kon na ba, like when I was still a college student, what was I thinking? What did I want other people or the alumni, what did I want them to tell me para ma-inspire ko, or to guide me to where I want, or where I want to go, or what I want to do in the future. Because to be honest, in the end, it's gonna be your decision, but your decisions are going to be affected by the things that you experience and by the people that you encounter, diba? It's always gonna be like that. But anyway, so before that, kansa ta mo brief background. So akong background is that I come from kanang a small area in Naga. It's a rural, well, it was a rural, karon dili na kaayo, but it was not a very sana di siya big nga lugar. So I did elementary school in a public at a public elementary school sa amurang lugar. I did my high school at Mingrelia Science High. So it was kanang pressure jud ko adto because it was from kanaganing gikan ka sa gamay nga eskwelahan, yung mabot kag dako unya yung mga kauban kay mga bright kayo, which I think a lot of people can relate. I am an average student, by the way, so daghan ta because we are average. But anyway, so pag adto na og high school, mao to dito jud ko nakastugod og start sa pressure. But then kato nga pressure was actually a good thing. Naka-feel ko pressure kanang makaubos sa self-esteem kay lagi mga bright kay mga classmates. But then kato nga pressure kay nakahatag to siya nako anang it was somehow a good thing for me because pag high school nako, I realized nga I did not need very high grades. A lot of people would disagree, but kanang I just really wanted to learn. I wanted to understand things. So mo na akong goal. And there were some subjects nga di jud ko interested. And maybe I'm just that type of person. I'm not saying you should be like that. Kung di ko interested, at if I'm interested in something, I am deeply interested in something. So I was very deeply interested in math and chemistry. Pag high school na ako, we had advanced subjects. So we had organic and biochem. in third year or fourth year, yeah, around that time. So mao jud to ang naka-inspire nako nga mag-chem. So because gagmay naman ko grado, so wala ko na pressure nga magpadako og grado. Gets? But anyway, mao to siya. So mao to ang first nako nga naka-inspire. I guess I was also blessed with people nga kana ganing since elementary, even though I had very low self-esteem, kana ganing ang mga tao around you thinks that kanang they believe in what you're capable of even though you're not showing that. So because they believe in you being capable of something, you want to become capable of that thing, diba? Gets ra? Mura bag katong kanang saying ba nga if you talk to a child like they are an adult, they're gonna be kanang mas mo confident sila and they're gonna be acting like more like adults in the future, and mas mo grow sila, right? So inana akong na-feel ato. So I was blessed with people as well. So I think that's one thing we have to take note of. We have to be aware of our surroundings, of the people around us, para mas magay ta, because it takes wisdom to make these life decisions. It really takes experience, and then experience comes wisdom, and then wisdom comes good decisions. So muna siya. And then next was after high school, thankfully nakapasar ko DST. I already knew na I wanted to pursue chemistry. So dito din sa San Carlos, kay back then there was I don't think they were offering chemistry anywhere else sa Cebu. So I went to San Carlos. Pag abot na kong San Carlos, dito ko na wala kay layo na kay Samua. First night pa lang nag-boarding house ko because Talamban is so far away from Naga. Nag-boarding house ko, niuli na ko pag after sa first night because lagi ka nang gikan tag probinsya, mabaguan ta sa Cebu City. So muna hadlo ko, niuli ko, susuka dato nagulian ko. But anyway, so kato siya nga experience na ko sa San Carlos, kay lain na po to. Kay again, kung daghang bright sa katong pag high school, samot na sa San Carlos. Kay pag abot na ko ako mga classmates kay BS Chem o BS Applied Physics nga kasagaran nila gikan pagid sa Cebu City. Sayhay madagko nga sayhay ba. So mo to mura kog na pressure, but again, it's not that kind of pressure nga kanang ganahan ko mo excel or ganahan ko nga mo top. I did not have that kind of pressure in my college years. I guess I'm really not a competitive person. Ang ako ra jud is ganahan ko mo learn. Mao jud na akong first nga I think number one nga masturya sa akong self. I want to learn. So, pause at kadali. So next is pag college na ko, akong first nga teacher, first subject Monday, first na ako nga teacher. Mao jud ni siya ang teacher nga nakapa-inspire na akong samot sa chemistry. Her name is Miss Jean Hapitana. She was our Gen Chem teacher first semester. And kani siya nga teacher no, kay the way the way she teaches, kay she really takes her time. Diba, when a teacher is in a classroom, ang students will be diverse. Some would be fast learners, some would be slow learners. But then she's the kind of teacher who really takes her time. She interacts with each student. Imagine na college na. It's not like that it's not supposed to be like that in college. At least nowadays I don't think it's like that because it's college, right? Mga adults na, usually young adults na ang mga estudyante. But then she was really like that. You talk to her eye to eye and she talks to you eye to eye. Kay she wants to know if you really understands, and she really takes her time kay para 90%, at least maybe 90% of the students understand the concept, understand the lesson ay ang giikuan ana, because I think it's a Gen Chem. If you read a Gen Chem book, it's like the foundation of chemistry. If you know the basic, if you know the fundamentals, you will understand the harder subjects. That's what I believe. at least. So kato siya, I think dito jud na build akong foundation sa Gen Chem because of her. Kana, so when she teaches, actually mubasa jud ko sa book. I don't just rely on whatever is discussed in the classroom. Mubasa jud ko sa book. I had a favorite Gen Chem book katong Kang Brown, Lemay, Bursten nga General Chemistry. That was my favorite book. I think I've read 75% of that book. Naray some sections like katong organic chemistry na section nga wala na ako gibasa. But it's not bragging. I just wanted to kanang share nga mo tong favorite book dyan sa chemistry. So after that, mo to siya, no. Unfortunately though, one semester siya kay padong na siya mo retired. Ning-retire na siya after ato. So she was like, she only taught us for one semester, but she really left something sa akong mind ug sa akong heart. So char. Pero anyway, so mao to, pag-abot og second year o third year dito na nagkalisod. So I thought pag first year dean's list pa, pero okay kayo, ano ba, say dali murag para na ako murag easy pa to, which makes sense because those are like fundamentals. Pag abot nag second year, third year, dito na nag-alisod. And there was a time, like, I think I was in third year or second year, I had an organic chemistry. I think, organic chemistry lagi, organic lab. It was a laboratory nga class. Nga, for the whole semester, you are just given 3 unknowns, and the only goal for the whole semester is to identify all 3 unknowns. And to be honest, nahuman na lang ang semester, what jud nako na-identify. So, what jud ko na-identify bisag usa, and you're required to identify at least 2 para mo pasar. So, gigaan mig extension, thankfully dili ra ako ang wala naka-identify. Naiuban nga isa pa lang identify, but I was the only one nga wala pa na-identify nga unknown. So it was like 5 semester after sa semester, nahuman na jud ang semester. After sa semester, we were given 5 days extension, like from 8 to 5 p.m. and sometimes we even extend depende sa kung napay tawo nga mahabilin sa stock room. So we even had to extend for a few hours. So from 8 to 5 mukaon rag kadali, like bila ang kaon 15 minutes sa siguro ang kaon, and then gabarog ra kada whole time because you're not allowed to sit inside the lab, diba, kay organic chemistry pagid siya dahil kay pwede mo buto. So moto sa 5 days, no, wa na gyud ko ilang gibuhat ato, gasige ra gyud kog experiment. Ikahapon mohapit yung kog Santo Rosario, inana ko ka pressure, inana ko ka hadlok nga mahagbong. And maybe part of the reason was because of the scholarship, because mahal kay San Carlos, kinahanglan jud nato kuan, kinahanglan jud nako kwarta. So moto pada, like walay sagol, walay exaggeration. Every weekday, every day nga nako sa San Carlos, moagi jud kog Santo Rosario, stay jud ko atong dugay kay para lang mag-ampok nga makakuha og unknown do ka buok. And imagine after 5 days ra jud. So sa 5 days nga extension, nakuha nako akong duha ka unknown on the 5th day. Like on the 5th day, I can't kanang di jud ko makalimot ana nga on the 5th day 3 p.m. na nako nakuha akong mga unknowns. So moto ang isa ka unknown, wala jud nako nahibaw-an kung unsa to, but thankfully ni pasar ako. There was also niagi pa ko og tutor, like nagpa-tutor ko for, I think it was a calculus class, kay wa jud ko kasabot, kay nam jud mga kuano nga times nga bisag bright pa kayo may mga extra di jud ka kasabot. So mo na nakapa-tutor pa ko calculus. That's who I am. Kanang I'm definitely not the smartest kid in class. I wasn't the most hardworking, not the most talented. I was definitely just the average person. Pero ang ako yung kanang college, di nga makalimtan sa college is ang isa sa mga things jud nga naka-inhibit or sa may sakto nga term. nakabuhatag na kog inhibitions sa college is kana yung kahadlok, fear jud, fear nga mo fail, fear nga makagubag instrument, fear nga makabuak og test tube mga inana kay lagi. So kato kana nga fear mao na akong motivation kung nganong naabot ko karon sa kung asa ko. To be tinod na pagka-serious, that's 100% truth nga mao jud na ang nakahatag na akong motivation. Because kato nga fears mao to ang nakahatag nako nga naka-inspire nako, naka-motivate nako nga I wanted to become the teacher, I wanted to become the professor nga moingon sa students or kana ganing I want to inform or sakto nga term, I want to encourage the students to not be afraid of breaking those instruments, not be afraid of breaking those test tubes or any glassware. Chemistry ra jud kayo sa, pero bitaw mo jud ang biggest motivation ako nganong inana, ganahan ko mo share ana, ganahan ko nga ako na ang klase sa teacher nga dapat dili mahadlok ang mga students. And you know why nganong di ta mahadlok? Because actually if we check the prices of those glasswares, kanang common glassware sa lab, they're not really that expensive. And also in terms of instruments which are really expensive, if we think about it, wala na sila gi-build para dali ra kayo maguba, di ba? Kay dili unta na sila mahal if dali ra na sila maguba. And if dali ra na sila maguba, meaning ipalit ra na sila nga barato, or I don't know, I'm not sure. I'm sure dili na sila dali maguba. So I realized then nga ngano mahadlok man ta. So in connection to that, nakoy na learn nga isa ka saying nga it's the saying that I live by in terms of my career. And kana nga saying is na learn na nako gikan sa usa ka balik scientist nga ni-visit sa San Carlos. So I think graduate na ko ato na scientist nga ni-visit. I don't know, maybe 4th year ko day nag-thesis. I think inana. So naibalik scientist nga ni-visit sa San Carlos, sa biology siya. Nagkuan siya, mo siyang nihatag og training sa C. elegans. So kanang C. elegans, kuan na siya. I think can't remember kung unsa na siya nga kanang asa na siya nabilong. But mura na siya bitok ba kanang usa sa mga ginagamit kung sa bacteria E. coli sa ilahang I'm not really sure sa C. elegans, but mura siya bitok. So gigamit na siya as murag kanang known nga kanang organism para sa kanang mga cancer studies manana. So nay balik scientist ni visit siya sa San Carlos, and you know what, he came from kanang London man siguro to. I think sa London to siya gikan nga nag postdoc siya sa London. So na siya igistorya nga di na ko makalimtan, and what he said was always work by principle and not by instrument. And from then on, mao jud na akong gipanghawakan, learn by principle and not by instrument. I wanted to share this to you because if we work by principle, what it means para nako is if we work by principle, meaning when you're given a procedure sa lab, kay di ba na natay lab notebook ka ano tag procedure, if you understand every step of the procedure, and this is true, nadyo ko'y gi-check nga procedure nga pag-college nako nga ako yung gi-check kung nganong akong gibalik kog tan-aw, like nganong gibuhat ni namo. Yeah, now it's making sense, because back then when I was doing the experiment, it did not make sense to me. I did not understand what I was doing. So when I heard that kato nga saying, kaana jud ko nga kung kasabot jud ta sa principle, kung kabaw jud ta why we're doing what is written in there. Like for example, bisag kanang basic kayo nga why atong stir, you know, those kanang very simple and mga minyal ra mga butang. So when I heard that saying, naka-realize yun kung akong kasabot lang dito sa principle, kung kasabot ta why that instrument, how that instrument works, di kita mahadlok. Because if we understand how it works, or we understand why we are doing that, dili jud na maguba because we would be doing it correctly. Or if maguba man gani, somehow there's something that went wrong, makabalo ta mo troubleshoot because we would understand what went wrong. Mo jud na ang pinaka pinaka dako nga thing nga natabang nako sa akong journey towards my career, towards my goal. So, someday akong goal. So, originally jud akong goal was to become a professor. And na-inspire ko ana because in my 4th year, we had this part na siya sa among curriculum, murag teaching siya, nga we had to teach non-chem majors. Pero chemistry ang subject, non-chem majors lang, like chem-eng or pharmacy. So, kato nga time, I really was inspired. It was only 1 semester, and I think we only taught for 1 day or 1 week ba to? Yeah, 1 week. And it was at that time when I was complimented. Like, I'm bad kay kumuhandle og compliments, but kato nga time kay gi-compliment ko, and I really loved what I was doing even without the compliment. Kanang naka-realize ko nga ganahan jud ko mo teach. So kato, imagine na 4th year second sem or 4th year first sem, dito jud ko naka-realize kung unsa kong ganahan buhaton. I wanted to teach. So ang akong goal was to pursue grad school, mahuman ko masters and PhD. I wanted to become the youngest professor at least sa USC. That was my goal, but then wala na nahitabo kay daghang dili man jud nato we can't control things. So, akong ibuhat ato after na ko ni college, nag-masters ko sa San Carlos, nag-work ko sa Carmen Copper because I needed money. While nag-masters ko, nag-work po ko. But then, ang work na ko sa Carmen Copper was QC, which is okay, but it wasn't what I wanted. It was not my ikigai. I realized we have to find our ikigai, right? It's ikigai. Ng ikigai, it's what pays the bills, it's what makes you fulfilled, it is what makes you happy, those things mo nang ikigai daw. It's one thing na makahatag nimo ng tanan. So I think my passion was teaching jud. But then teaching does not have a lot of money, so actually karong gaduduha ko. But anyway, mawala na ta sa topic. So, moto, pag after na ko sa kuan, dito ko sa Carmen Copper, ito sa mining company in Toledo. Wamang kay ko nalipay because the job was too routine for me. I felt like I stopped learning. And, learning was really the thing that I enjoyed the most in life ever since high school. So, moto, yundang ko, nag-part-time ko sa CNU, ato, my first students were silang Julius, silang Noel, Sheena. I still remember their names actually. I just can't just mention all of them. Pero kanaging makakita ko sa ilang mga post kay I feel happy kay nindot na kay silang mga naabtan karon. It feels very fulfilling for me. So, narang ko'y kanang some things nga kung ibilin nyo. So, enough about that. Narang ko'y some things nga ibilin para ninyo. So, ang very first thing jud nga akong mastorya is if you do what you love, or if you love what you do, work wouldn't feel like work. And that's actually a saying gihatag pud sa akong advisor nako karon sa PhD. Because I'm still having second thoughts whether I'm gonna go to industry or academia. So imagine now I graduated like 10 years ago, but I'm still confused. So if you're confused right now, go on, give yourself a break. Don't be too hard on yourself. If you're confused right now, it's okay. Okay, normal or now. We have different paces in life. We have there are even like I have classmates nga cum laude, right? Our cum laude sa akong batch, they don't have themselves, they have not figured out their lives yet even. Wa man ko ninguan ha, but I mean we're very good friends. Pero I'm just saying ba nga don't be too pressured sa life, because well, pressure can do you good, but it's not always good to feel to feel the pressure. So motto siya, motto ha, if you love, or if you love what you do, or if you do what you love, work wouldn't feel like work. That's very true. And then second is kato, always work by principle and not by instrument. So try to understand the things jud nga imong gibuhat. That was my mistake back then, but well, we are allowed to commit mistakes, at least as long as we learn from our mistakes, and as long as we know or we are aware of those mistakes, diba? And then the third one is there are no dumb questions in science. So this is another experience of mine nga kana ganing na mga talks, like na mga balik scientists nga mo visit sa atong school nga maghatag sila talk about something na so deep, so focused, because they were doing masters or PhD, right? And usually when you do those things, it's gonna be about a very small thing na focus rigid kaayo into that topic. It's too zoomed into that topic na kita di natakasabot. So whenever that happens, nga mauwaw ka mga tana because you think your question is dumb, always remember that there are no dumb questions in science. Daghan kaayong scientific discoveries that started from those dumb questions. Those dumb questions. And para sad ma-okay inyong to make yourselves feel better, I've been called, like, I've had an idea that was called stupid once. So when I was doing my master's, my professor told me that this is a stupid idea, which really nakahilak jud ko pagawas na ko sa iyang office. But it's karon ako ra siyang katawhan. It's because it wasn't, I know it wasn't a stupid idea, and it probably was not kanang meant, he probably did not mean to say it was a stupid idea. He should have known better nga walay stupid sa stupid questions or sa science. So motto last, no, third motto siya, yeah, there are no dumb questions in science. And lastly, sa fourth is, I think you already know this, but kanang seize the opportunity dyan. So I mentioned nga low jud kay kog self-esteem, but when someone from someone I know, she's also a chemistry student, but I just know her by face. Kay gikan siya MSU, nagka-classmate kami sa review during the review sa board exam. I just know her face and her name, but did you me friends? Like, I never said hi, she never said hi to me. But friends mi sa FB, so dito nako nakuha ang information nga there was an opening sa Korea for biochemistry. It was applied life science, and I hated biochem and organic. Then I was an inorganic and analytical person when I was in college, but because bored kayo ko, I was very bored. That was the reason why I did why I pursued a master's in Korea. I was very bored in the Philippines. I did not know what to do. I had no direction in life back then. So what I did was, ni-email ko niya, ni-message ko diay nga kuan sa details ana. So mo to ni submit ko sa professor og kuan CV. I emailed him sa akong background, mga inana, reference letters. So mo to iya akong gi-accept. Dito nagsugod ako ang love sa life science or sa biochemistry. Dito jud nagsugod akong pagkaganahan. It made me more interested than the material side, which is katong sa inorganic. It made me more interested in life science. So mo to karon when I after I finished my masters ni ari kog US, the reason why I did not pursue my masters in South Korea was because I did not pursue my PhD. Wala ko ni continue PhD dito was because one is the language barrier. It was difficult, yes, and the second is because it was too biology for me. I wanted to do something more chemistry. It's still biochem, but I wanted to become an analytical biochemist. That's the goal. become an analytical biochemist. So I learned after nako sa Korea, I learned nga I have to choose the advisor properly because katong nga time my personal growth was the steepest. It was the steepest sa akong personal growth curve. So when I was applying it took me 2 years or 3 years before ko ni start og apply for PhD because I really had to think hard kung ganahan ba jud ko, kaya ba nako ang 5 years of PhD. Because I knew I wanted to go to the US to pursue my PhD. I knew nga sa US ko ganahan mo adto. And I also knew nga sa US, it typically takes 5 years, at least 5 years to finish the PhD. So, it took me a long time jud. I took my time to think. Wala ako nagpa-pressure sa akong edad, wala ako nagpa-pressure na everyone around me was like ako mga younger years, ako mga younger nga sana kanang uban nga chem majors nga younger pa nako kay man na nang larga na sila ning they're pursuing their dreams, they already figured out their lives. I did not kanang take that pressure. So I took my time, I thought really hard, and when I searched for what I did was I searched for professors. I joined groups. If you're familiar with GradMap, you can search them on FB. I was a GradMap mentor as well. I am I'm just trying to lay low on that for now because of the pressure or because of the things that I have to do here in my studies. But anyway, so when I tried to apply for PhD in chemistry here in the US, I really took my time. Ako diyong gisure nga ganahan ko sa research. Akong gisure nga it's what I want to do in the future. Because when you choose something so big, when you make a decision so big, you have to think if it is something nga kaya nimong buhaton for the rest of your life. Is it something ma-fulfilled imong feeling? Is it something nga makapahappy nimo? Is it your ikigai, basically? So, thankfully, I chose one of the best professors here. And also, I chose I am still choosing the life nga mag-lead na ko sa akong goal. There is no end goal. There is no kanang end to our goals, right? But at least it's something. It's the small steps nga makapahatag nato that will lead us to our to the bigger goal, right? So it's always smaller steps until you get to the peak. You don't have to go to the peak, but at least sa imuhang sa ato ang own standards. So for my life advice is ang ako jong so if sa career katong work by principle not by instrument, mao dyan akong biggest na thing na akong ma-impart ninyo. Always understand everything, always understand as much as you can and ask questions if you're confused. Sa life pod, ang ako yung ma-impart sa mga students is that kanang aside sa golden rule, which is do not do unto others what you do not want others do unto you. Sa life is that you don't always have to choose the right decision. So it doesn't matter if it's the right decision or the wrong decision. Because you won't always know if something is wrong or something is right. Diba? So it doesn't matter if it's the right decision or the wrong decision. As long as it's something that is for me. This is for me. As long as it is something, it is the decision that will hurt lesser number of people. Because dili raman importante ang career, importante man ang mga tao. So I hope that was useful, and also if you have any questions, if you need help kung saan pag-apply sa grad school, what I did to go abroad, para what I did to nga makasulod ko sa mga universities abroad, you can email me. You can ask Francis for my email. I'm gonna share him my email, my contact information para maka-guide po ko ninyo. I really hope I can guide more students from the Philippines, and inika human para human po ninyo mamalig tag Pilipinas, we can teach and we can share our experiences to more students later on. Thank you so much for listening, for watching. Thank you, and good luck sa inyong pagswila.